What's going on, everyone? Trust the Buzz here. If you're new to the channel, I make daily Charlotte Hornets content, well, kind of daily. And if that interests you, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. If you cannot tell by the thumbnail title of this video, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the state of the Hornets and what is going on with the Hornets. So, you know that I basically was like, oh, I'm going to make like 3 videos a day about the Hornets, 2 videos a day about the Hornets. And really, to be honest, there hasn't been anything to talk about with the Charlotte Hornets. As much as I love this team, as much as I want them to be successful or bad in this case, I don't know. There really hasn't been much to talk about because all of the issues that they're having is kind of self-explanatory. You got guys out for sure. The bench is a bunch of young guys who don't get playtime even now. I mean, they get playtime, but not enough to really make that leap, and so it's really difficult to really even judge them off that. And like I said, Nick Richards, James Bouknight, JT Thor, these guys didn't really get time last year, and now all of a sudden you're asked to be literally vital bench pieces. It's just, there's not really, I can't really blame them. There's not really much they can do. I mean, there's not really much the Hornets can do. I don't want to come on here and just be like, they need to trade, because that is what needs to happen. There needs to be roster moves. It's just, I can't come on here and say that every day because I have no control. You have no control over what the team is doing. So it's really hard to just be critical of them, even though they do deserve to be criticized, because, you know, games like last night where they kind of gave it up to the Washington Wizards, it's just tough to really criticize them. So that's why I haven't been making any videos. I do talk a lot about it on Twitter, so if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at TrustBuzz. I'll put it on the screen and also put the link down in the description below. I like live tweet games and talk about other things, Charlotte Hornets, but some of that stuff I talk about doesn't deserve a video, so that's why I haven't been making videos. But I mean, after a couple games have passed, I do just want to talk about the state of the Hornets. So first thing I would like to talk about, Terry Rozier should not be back. Terry Rozier looks good. I think Terry Rozier is good. If you are looking to actually keep this team together, especially with the news of Miles Bridges, however you feel about Miles Bridges, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's going to come back. My whole thing with it was, if his wife thinks he should be free and allowed to play basketball, then, you know, I guess I'm okay with it, because at that point, it's none of my business. She made a statement basically saying that jail time wasn't for him and it wouldn't have helped him at all. And so she'd rather him be, you know, out and get real help. Is that for her words? Because we know how these things go, especially with celebrities and people who aren't celebrities. I don't know, but it's like all I have to take. And it's like, I still feel about it, but it is what it is. Anyway, the point is, if you want to keep this team together because you do think Miles Bridges is coming back or whatever, Terry Rozier should not be playing. If you want to trade Terry Rozier, then he should be playing. Is that why they're playing Terry Rozier? I don't know. So that's the thing. So, and that's what's frustrating about not knowing what this team wants to do. If they come out and say, hey, we're just evaluating players, we do, you know, have some roster changes on the horizon, things like, I don't know, things of that nature. They can spin it the way they're supposed to spin it. Then fine. Play Terry Rozier, because you do need to see what you have. You do need to understand what the team is like. I get it. Fine. But if you're like, this team is good enough to compete, like for a playoff spot, this team is, you know, we just have unfortunate situations with the Gordon Hayward injury, Terry Rozier injury, LaMelo Ball injury, Cody Martin injury. Fine. That's cool too, if that's what you want to do. But if that's the case, I do not want to see Terry playing, because this ain't going to be the year. You're 3-8. You're 13-14% through the season. It's just not I mean, really, it's not going to cut it. You know what I mean? We're behind. I don't think. The thing is that you get LaMelo Ball back, you get everybody back. Let's just say you get everybody back. Boom. It's gonna take some time for them to get ready and get you know, basically into basketball mode. And I just don't see why. I don't see how they would even come back. You know what I'm saying? Teams are in full swing by the time we get all our guys back. There's honestly just no need to play these guys, even if there's no need to play these guys if you want to run this team back next year, which they've been given every reason to run the team back because everybody's been hurt. So they're like, oh, let's just see what everybody looks like together. And I think in both ways, even if you want to Because you have to make moves this offseason. Even if you want to run this team back, there's got to be something done this offseason to address the center position, address the bench position, like the bench roles. There's got to be something because the young guys aren't going to cut it because they're not getting, I think, the play they really need. I think now they're getting more desperate play than, hey, we actually want you to go out there and perform. The young guys look bad, and that is because this is basically their rookie year. I mean, not for Nick Richards, but like, James Bouknight, who looks like he's getting better over time. J.T. Thor still looks rough. And this is where, like, I get frustrated. Why is Kai Jones not playing? I get it. Kai Jones still has time to learn and things like that. But we all know, like, for example, at your job, I don't know what your job is. So, let me know if I'm wrong compared to your job. We'll use my job. So my job, I'm kind of like a developer. So, like, software engineer and stuff like that. And the first week, they show you all these things, right? They show you all these things that this is how you do X, Y, and Z. This is how you do, ABC, whatever. And I'm learning. I'm like, okay, this is cool. But you don't really get it until you're really in the fire. That's what's happening to Kai Jones. They're running him in practice. I mean, last year they put him in the G League and he dominated. And they wonder why, come summer league time, he's kind of stuck. Where all the talent in the world, but not much like basketball. I wouldn't even say IQ because I think he's a smart player. I think he just tries to do too much and he doesn't understand that he's trying to do too much. He's doing everything he can help to win for the team. I 100% wholeheartedly agree with that. I really do see him out there trying his hardest. However, he just doesn't understand to kind of dial it back a little bit because some of the stuff he's doing is harmful to the team, even though, like, if you did hit that three, that would be huge. However, you're not that good of it. You know what I'm saying? So things like that. But he's not going to learn that playing in the G League. He's not going to learn that at practice. He's going to learn it, but he needs to feel the disappointment of, if I really boxed this guy out, we could have won that game. If I really hit that corner three where I was wide open, we could have really won that game. He's not going to learn that in the G League. He's not going to learn that in Summer League. He's not going to learn that in practice because it's just practice. You know what I mean? So they really just have to find a way to really incorporate these guys because these guys are who are going to be here when the Hornets really, if they really want to take the next step. These are the guys who are going to be here. Kelly Oubre's not going to be here. Gordon Hayward's not going to be here. Terry Rozier, maybe. But James Bouknight, J.T. Thor, Jalen McDaniels, who is getting a lot of run now, but I'm afraid like full team, I don't think he will as much. Kai Jones, Nick Richards, who he gets run, but it's like at the worst time, in my opinion. Like, Nick Richards will literally have the hot hand. Nick Richards will literally be, he's not the world's greatest interior defender, but he'll stop some shots and then he gets pulled. That's what I mean by the time. I don't actually mean like the actual minutes that show up on the box score. If you just watch the games, you'll see that these guys are getting pulled at inopportune times or playing in weird times when it's like this is not beneficial to them at all. And it's just like we're not winning. I get that you want to try to win, but look at your roster, and that's, I feel like, a big major part of this is that the team's just afraid to look at the roster. But anyway, I've ranted long enough. That's just kind of what I want to talk about with the Charlotte Hornets. It's like I said, it's really hard to talk about because you're missing so many guys, and it's like a makeshift team right now. If anything, I want them to just, like I said, Tank, just do the T word and give up, or G, maybe the G word, give up, or G words, I don't know, but it's just frustrating to watch because I'm not even mad at the players. It's just more so like you're really asking these guys to be starters and they're not. And the reason they're not is because they weren't prepared, and they're not prepared because y'all treated them like 18-year-olds. You know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it, but like you got James Bouknight, Kai Jones in the same draft. They were not your traditional one and done players. James Bouknight was 20 when he came into the league, and then Kai Jones I think was 20 when he came into the league. So it's just like these are not your traditional players. Play them as such. You know what I mean? And if Kai Jones took that much development at 20, then why'd you draft him if you didn't want to develop him? Doesn't make any sense. He's 20 years old. Throw him out there. So I don't know, but that's just the frustrating part of this team is because this is literally the definition of being in the middle. They do not want to commit to helping, and I'm not even saying that would necessarily be tanking, but you're really trying to prepare for the future because a healthy LaMelo Ball. I mean, we keep Terry Rozier. I would say just find a couple of players to replace Gordon Hayward in terms of the money. PJ Washington, who's looking a lot better this year. Get a decent center. you have a good team if the young guys are able to fill in that bench gap, or maybe even a starter role, depending on who steps up. But you're not allowing them that opportunity, and that's the frustrating part, is because they're so focused on this year, and it's just like it's obvious it's not going to be this year. It's obvious. There's nothing LaMelo can do. There's nothing Cody can do. There's nothing Gordon can do to all of a sudden change it to where this team is good enough. And the only reason I'm saying that is if we're at the start of the season and they played how they were at the beginning of the season with the starters, with everybody, we're singing a different tune here. However, I just feel like by the time the team is fully prepared, by the time the team's fully healthy, you still have to get into basketball state. You still have to play with everybody. You know what I mean? So that's the frustrating part, is that they're so like, oh, we can do it this year. It's like by the time these guys are ready, we're 30 games in. And by ready, I mean healthy and playing like up to par. We're 30 games in. 30 games in, you're what? 8 and 22, 10 and 11. You couldn't even be 10 and 11. That's too good compared to what team is now. So what? We'll say 8 and 22. 10 and 21, that's better. That's 10 and 21. I don't know, but that's just where you're at. And then at 10 and 21, are you really going to make? So it's just, I feel like you're wasting time here when you really could be focusing on these guys who really could help next year, where next year you would expect to be the year where the team really can get together because they had a real off season. But we'll see. Anyway, I've already talked too long. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know what you think. I love to talk about the team in the comments. So let me know what you think down in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.